soon know. Feliciano's problem is going to be to try to get near him. McAuley in the red trunks. This is Feliciano's first fight since November. And that was a defeat over 8 rounds at the hands of a rather lowly ranked Miguel Santos. This is a voluntary defense by McAuley. The little man from Puerto Rico is keeping a very cautious distance between himself and the champion. But even then, the long left arm of McAuley finds him. Right hand only just whistled past the chin of Feliciano. The challenger making as elusive a target of himself as he can. The reports from America describing him as being crude seem a little off to me. He doesn't look crude to me. He's moving quite neatly on his feet. But he is extremely short. Feliciano is quick. So the first round coming to its end with almost nothing of significance having happened. A very quiet opening indeed. And that was because Feliciano was determined to keep plenty of distance between himself and this man, the champion, Dave McAuley, will be 30 next month. 20 fights, 16 wins, 2 draws, and just those 2 defeats by Bassa. He's been around a long time now. Dave, of course, was a top-flight amateur, and that was 12 years ago when he first really came to prominence, and he turned professional in 1983. So he's a man of considerable experience, although he's only had the 20 professional fights. B.J. Eastwood leaning through the ropes there on the left, always been his manager. Referee just checking there's not too much grease on the face. So who's going to be the first to make an aggressive move? Man in white, Feliciano, resumes his backpedaling, generally moving around to the right hand. Well, he's changed now, but for the first round he moved almost the whole time onto the right hand of McAuley. hands from McAuley. They found it very easy to get inside, and the body of Feliciano was wide open for him. It's not always easy to box a man who's this much shorter than yourself. It does mean that you have to punch down all the time, which is unusual. Again, the 1-2. Hook got him very, very easily indeed over the top of the guard, and another little combination there, and this is beginning to look a little one-sided already. McAuley doing it absolutely dead right, taking no chances. He's been down some 15 or 16 times in his professional career. And, he doesn't want any more of that tonight, does he? That was a low punch from Feliciano, but it's not been spotted, or if it has been, nothing's been said. Feliciano's problem, plain for all to see, lack of reach, and always the danger, if he tries to get inside, he's going to walk onto something. That thump is 10 seconds to go to the end of the round. So that was clearly McAuley's round. And there were moments there when he almost outclassed Feliciano. He found him so easy to hit, I think it probably surprised him. But it was a sign of the problems this little man has got here tonight in Belfast. That was a good thumping left hook, and he found that very easy to get in over the top of the little man's guard. No reach at all, really. And on paper, you have to say he seems to be the easiest defense that McAuley's had on paper. The other reasonably easy one he had was against the American Louis Curtis, and Dave took 12 rounds, the full distance, to subdue him on points, and this little man actually stopped Curtis in 5 rounds when he won his USBA flyweight title. So that's an interesting contrasting thought, unless McAuley, of course, softened Curtis up. Feliciano looks as though he's looks as though he's come out determined to be a little more aggressive. The cautionary stuff seems to be over, and he's looking as though he wants to come forward and do something. That's beautiful. What a good combination. It was the right hand uppercut that took him off his feet. Compulsory 8 count, round 3, and first sign of real trouble for Feliciano. That was a beautiful combination from McAuley. Stumble again. Feliciano is still a little bit dazed. The interesting thing is, of course, that McAuley hasn't really opened up yet. Well, Feliciano taking punches again in his own corner. And the little man from Puerto Rico certainly knows his in for trouble. But he is durable. His record distinctly shows that. McAuley's long arms doing useful work here. Takes a deep breath, Feliciano. I can see now when he attacks, he is a bit crude looking. I can see what the Americans meant. He looks all right when he's retreating. The footwork is fancy, but when he throws punches, they're thrown in a very ragged, unstylish way. Combination by McAuley. The bell coming up. End of the third, and that was another good round from McAuley. And well, that contained a sequence of punches which eventually took the challenger off his feet and left him, I'm quite sure, dazed for some 30 seconds or more. Here it is again. Watch this. It was the left uppercut, it was the right uppercut. Left uppercut that took him off his feet. The final punch of the three. A sad-looking little man, and I'm afraid he's going to have something to be sad about tonight from all that's gone before. You know, we had another repeat of that little bit of action from McAuley from another angle. It's 1, 2, 3 punches. That was the one, the left hook come uppercut. And McAuley looking very, very calm tonight, as though he knows he can do his job well here. So McAuley already quite nicely out in front on points after 3 rounds. McAuley in the red trunks. At him over the top of his gloves. I suppose thinks to himself something like, how on earth am I going to get to you? And if McAuley uses his reach and his feet properly, the little man never will get to him. Sharp right hand from Feliciano actually caught McAuley high up on the side of the face there. He's left a red mark by the side of his left eye. That was a beautiful left hook. McAuley having trouble with the challenger's head, and I think there's a cut on McAuley's face, and that's been done by the head without any question. It's on the left side of McAuley's face, and he's just had a wipe at it, looked at his glove, he's cut underneath the left eye. Well, it's not a dangerous place, but it's an unfortunate thing to happen to McAuley, and it's going to be a worry to him. But I don't think it's going to really affect his boxing. They're never as bad under the eye, obviously. Well, it's amazing how McAuley never seems to come through any fight without some sort of trouble. And a swiping right hand from Feliciano catches McAuley. And we're coming up to the end of the fourth. So McAuley will go back for repairs from the corner. Paddy Byrne there in the green, and with him Bernardo Chica, one of the Panamanians in this Belfast camp. It's quite a nasty cut, actually. It's on the cheekbone, and it's probably going to. It's not going to worry McAuley terribly, except it's a psychological disadvantage more than anything. Here's an example of Feliciano's sweeping right hand. That's the one that raised the red mark at the side of McAuley's left eye, and it was just under that point at which he got cut later, and I think it was done by the head. So we arrived at the fifth round quite quickly, it seems to me. The left hook has been McAuley's best punch so far in this fight. Again and again he's caught his man with it. Feliciano doing far more attacking now than he was in the first two rounds. McAuley sidesteps and leaves the little man looking out into the crowd. Quite sensibly playing this coolly. Occasional right hand from Feliciano, looking a little menacing. It's more of a swipe than a punch. Good attack. Saw his chance, McAuley turned his man, got him in the corner and punished him a little. But the little man's got out of it. This is turning into a little battle now. And the man from Puerto Rico is far from being tamed. Very crisp combination punches that McAuley puts together. When he does put them together, he looks really good. And these combination punches of McAuley are keeping him out in the front on the scorecard. 5 rounds completed, and on my card, McAuley well ahead. They did a good job on that cut. It hardly opened up at all in that round. Paddy Byrne just doing extra repairs to it. McAuley's defences have been against Dodi Penaloza of the Philippines, Louis Curtis of the United States, and Rodolfo Blanco of Colombia. Won them all on points. But against Blanco, he was down 4 times. Now let's have another look at one of these nice series of punches that McAuley occasionally puts together. And they absolutely bemuse Feliciano. He doesn't know where to go to get away from them, and he's left swinging hopelessly out of distance. So we're not far off the halfway mark. Been a fast-paced battle, so they've both got plenty of strength left. Champion in the red trunks, carefully in command. Again, that little stumble. 3 times now he's gone down without being punched. Just a sharp series of punches again from McAuley, and again. And the Puerto Rican's head being awkward again. That's the way cuts come, when that head rubs up against the cheekbone. Okay, you should never get caught with that. A real sucker punch. And that's brought some more blood from the cut. Quite such a dominant round by McAuley. He's allowed Feliciano towards the end of this round to become quite aggressive. At times he's looked positively dangerous with that wild right hand. Down once again in a title fight. Trapped in the corner, opening up, and got caught by the right. He looks to his corner. The bell's coming up. There's the bell. And so once again, the champion McAuley finds himself on the deck. And once again, he's going to have to come back from that. He lost control. I think I was saying towards the end of that round that he hadn't been quite as dominant, and suddenly he allowed the little man to get to him. And he should never have allowed himself to be trapped like this in this neutral corner. He was opening it up, having a little war, and he paid for it, and that was the one that did him. That was the danger of allowing the little challenger to get too close and to have him trapped. So that's a serious setback for McAuley. And that may well have cost him that round. So once again, we have one of these strange battles that McAuley always seems to get dragged into. given the challenger an enormous amount of confidence. Early on, it looked as though Feliciano would never get into this fight. It looks quite different now. Caution there to Feliciano to keep his punches up. Actually, so low down, it's difficult for him to keep his punches up. Trapped on the ropes again, he doesn't want to be there. McAuley now is finding this distinctly uncomfortable. He's lost a bit of confidence. He's not controlling the fight anymore. And he certainly doesn't want to take another of those right hands when he's back to the ropes. This is a very big effort here by Feliciano. So that knockdown in the previous round marked a significant swing in the fight, and from being totally in command, McAuley is in danger of totally losing it. That was a good punch, and that's paid him back. That was desperately badly needed by McAuley. It came at the right moment. And the bell sounded, strangely enough, just as it did in the previous round on a knockdown. The bell has come again. So now it's the challenger's moment to be disturbed, just at the very moment when he appeared to be getting on top. Well, once again, it's one of these extraordinary McAuley fights, and we get them all the time with this man, which is what makes him so exciting. Here we are again. Look at that. I mean, that was a dangerous punch. The left hook has always been the one that's really seemed to threaten Feliciano, but it was a left and a right that put him down from the overhead camera. Just missed with that left. 1, 2. It was the 1-2 that did it, I don't. Well, the final left might have helped him on his way, but he was going anyway. So, McAuley once again back in the driver's seat. It is quite astonishing to me how he has these extraordinary battles in world title fights. So a knockdown apiece. The injury under McAuley's eye has been well patched up, but it's looking a little worse. The cut seems to have lengthened to me, but it's been well patched up. And McAuley would dearly love now to get rid of this man for good and all here. Feliciano, I think, has decided to go for broke here. It's all or nothing. spearing his man with lefts. Feliciano looking a little shaky. Well, knowing the form of McAuley fights, I wouldn't like to predict what might happen next. Champion certainly back in charge. Challenger hasn't landed a worthwhile punch in this round. Two good punches. They rocked Feliciano. He's a brave little man and he comes fighting back. And McAuley needs to be wary. He's still dangerous even when he's hurt. There's some blood high up on McAuley's head. I'm not sure where it's coming from. I think he's cut on the scalp. Feliciano seems to me to get quite tired now towards the end of each round. Closing seconds of this 8th round. And it's been totally McAuley's round. Never put a foot wrong, hardly put a hand wrong. I think he tired very badly towards the end of that round, Feliciano. But, well, the reports that he was durable certainly were true enough. Those were those two good McAuley whacks. 1, 2, right was particularly good. And there was a following left as well. So that corner will be distinctly relieved now, because for a moment McAuley was having a lot of trouble with this challenger, but now he appears to be in command once again. And of course he's a long way ahead. Whatever happens, it's another long fight from McAuley. Seems to specialise in these long and bitter battles. His manager is actually combing his hair over in the corner. Perhaps he's getting ready for the finish. Coming before the cameras at any moment. Again, that little stumble from Feliciano, whose legs occasionally seem to give way under him for some reason. To me that the eyes of Feliciano are beginning to get quite glazed, and I think the legs are giving way because he is desperately tired now. The 9th round. And you wonder what might happen here if McAuley just sets up one of those nice combinations. Seems to be some sort of bruise coming up over the right eye of Feliciano. He's getting quite blue there. He's gone, I think. I do think the challenger is almost gone. He can hardly stay on his feet. I think he's absolutely drained of strength. Nothing at all, Feliciano, just coming forward on those rather wobbly legs. looking more and more bow-legged. And those two body punches hurt. Seems almost to be wandering around in a daze. It's only a very big heart that's keeping Feliciano going here. He looks completely sold out as he wanders back to the corner, shakes his head, and will need every bit of this minute's rest. But of course, one also doesn't know quite how tired McAuley might be. He's been on the floor. And, well, he goes on making 8 stone. He's a big lad. He's 5'7", and he keeps coming up and makes 8 stone. It can't be easy for him. Yes, you see, he's got a cut up there on the skull, which was where the blood was coming from. And the eye is not looking too good, but it's not troubling him. But this little man has given him enough trouble. This goes all the way, we're in for another 3 rounds. I suppose at this point, McAuley's corner, McAuley himself may well be thinking in terms of playing it so coolly and cautiously. He knows he must be a long way ahead on points, and as long as he doesn't get careless, he's going to keep his title. So will McAuley settle for a 12-round decision, or is he going to try and finish it off? Or has Feliciano maybe still got a surprise? Yes, I think we've got 2 very tired men on our hands here. This is the situations where McAuley gets himself into trouble. Swiping with the right. That was how McAuley got caught. Way back at the halfway stage of this fight. Certainly playing it the long way. He's taking no chances, and that's pretty wise. Well, McAuley more or less contented himself with trying to keep out of trouble in that round. It was a pretty indecisive sort of round. Paddy Burns still going to work on the cut underneath the left eye. And having a dab at the scalp. So the scars of war are there. 2 rounds to go, and McAuley 6 minutes fighting away from equaling Jim Watt's record of the most successful British world champion. Watt made 4 successful defenses before Alexis Arguello beat him, and if McAuley wins this tonight, he will equal that record. And gamely, the man from Puerto Rico still battling on, although occasionally he looks to me as though he's absolutely sold out. Now boxing almost entirely on the left hand. No more combinations. And the referee declared that one low. Has reverted to the style of the first 2 rounds. Well, he turned his man, but he didn't take advantage of it. That was a good attack. And the left dug deep down to the body, hurt Feliciano. You could see the expression on his face. He's hurt again. And McAuley is very close to victory at this point. Can't quite seal it. And it's all been done with the left hand. You have to admire the courage of the man from Puerto Rico. He's hurt again. He almost went down. Round 11. McAuley on the verge of victory. But the little man still gamely stands there and defies him. Another left hand digs into the body of Feliciano. Only his courage holding him up. Just under 30 seconds of this round remaining. Wonderful courage from Feliciano. And the end of the 11th round, and that round, apart from the one where he put Feliciano down, that's the best round that McAuley's had. Well, you wonder sometimes where fighters get the strength and above all the courage to continue when the cause is lost, and Feliciano's cause surely is lost, but he's going to come out for the final round, and you have to admire the man's courage for that. He's been really badly hurt in that round. We'll see it again here, some of it. Nearly all done with left hands, and that one dug right down into the ribs, and well, you feel it yourself when you watch it. And again, earlier in the round, again a long sweeping left hand. Look at the expression on Feliciano's face. But he got through to the end of the round, and he's still there, and he's coming up for the final 3 minutes. noticeably took every second he could on the stool. So the 12th and final round of this IBF Flyweight Championship, with McAuley on the verge of equaling Jim Watt's record of 4 successful world title defenses. This has been a very brave challenge indeed by Feliciano, who really wasn't considered to be a top-rate world title contender. But he's given McAuley some trouble, and he stood up for everything that the champion could throw. McAuley is taking it very, very lightly indeed. He's not really making an aggressive move, McAuley. He's just trying, I think, to stay out of trouble here. Look at this from Feliciano. What a determined little man he is. Another stumble. It wasn't a knockdown, although a right hand just caught him as he went past, but it certainly wasn't a knockdown and wasn't counted as one either. We're 1 minute from the end of this fight. It's been another of these strange seesaw battles that McAuley gets involved in. He almost lost control of this fight entirely at the halfway stage, and then instantly came up off the floor to put his opponent down. Absolutely typical McAuley fight. And even now, Feliciano, swinging these punches, is looking dangerous again, which amazes me, because I thought he was finished 3 rounds ago. It's been such a determined effort by Feliciano, he might even have won the last round. Not a knockdown, just the legs giving way. And there's the bell to end the fight. And it's about all they can do to fall into each other's arms. The tiredness overcomes them. So another 12-round battle by McAuley. All his title fights have gone the distance. And there can't be any argument about the result either. We've got to wait now for 3 judges to declare the winner. But there really can't be any argument about it. McAuley's won by a long way. He had the one really bad round, which was the 6th, and he had another one somewhere along the line where you could mark it level. Apart from that, Feliciano really hasn't, well, he may have won the last round, but he hasn't really been in the fight, except for that one brief moment in the 6th. So the 3 judges who will now be handing in their scorecards are Kason Cheeks from Newark, New Jersey, Walter Cavalieri from Genoa in Italy, and Dave Paris from Britain. A little bit of the action from the final round. And McAuley keeping it fairly safely under control, although there were moments, that was the stumble again. But, well, it's going to be an historic night from McAuley's point of view, equaling Jim Watt's record, and we shall remember the bravery of Feliciano for a long time to come. Because I think, quite honestly, he was as good as beaten from about the 9th round onwards. Well, McAuley's great ambition now is to go to the States and have a title fight there and really make a pot of money. And that may be the next move sometime later this year. He's keen to meet Michael Carbajal of the United States, who's the IBF light flyweight champion, one weight down from this. I don't know whether Carvajal is prepared to go into a flyweight title fight with McAuley, but that's his ambition, because he feels that would be a real money spinner. So we wait for the result, and I think it's coming up now.
Of the judges. Judge Paris scored it 119-110 for McAuley.
Well, that's about what I would make it.
Judge Cavalier scored it 117-108 for McAuley.
So McAuley's won.
Judge Cheek scored it 119-108 for McAuley. A unanimous decision.
Well, the three judges pretty well in agreement. The margin was huge. McAuley is still the champion, and that really is an achievement by this man from Larne in County Antrim. He'll be 30 next month. He has now made 4 successful title defenses. That's the IBF World Championship belt. He's equalled Jim Watt's record, and it's a night to be remembered for Belfast boxing. A wonderful moment for this extraordinary man who keeps on getting up off the floor to win. And he's with Jim Neely up in the ring now, so let's go there.
David McAuley, champion yet again. They don't get any easier, do they?
No, but that was easy this time because I was only down to once this time, so that wasn't too bad.
You're getting fairly philosophical in your old age, I think.
Well, you have to be, because anybody that's in here that's in the top 10 is capable of winning the world title, because I was number 9 when I won it myself, so therefore if you're number 10, 8, 9 or whatever, you're still more than capable of winning a world title.
He was very tiny, but he was very, very tough, and he wasn't too fussy about what he did with his head, certainly from where I was sitting.
No, this here was a clear button, and that one there was a button too. Like, people say I'm easy cut, yes. If it's a severe clash of heads, which these two were, and there's nothing you can do. He was so small, it was unavoidable, but in saying that, as long as I won, I don't mind how many cuts I have.
In the middle of the fight, he looked very, very strong indeed. At that point, did you decide that you were just going to have to outbox him?
No, at no time. Like, I always know I'm capable of knocking somebody out. There's no doubt about that. I can knock him out in the first round or in the 12th round. He's fit, so he has to be strong in the middle rounds. I'm strong because I'm fit. So that's to be expected. You have to expect. You don't expect people to get in half fit and tired after 6 rounds, because they're there. They've got a buzz to get the world title, and they're try that wee bit harder maybe than a lot of other people would try. And they want it, and they want to grab it with both hands if you let them.
David, another great night here in Belfast. Jim Watt's British record has been equalled, and one presumes you feel that you can go on and actually surpass that.
Well, I can, because I thought this guy was very, 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 very awkward, and there's a lot easier opponents around than that. He might not be the best out of the top 10, but he's certainly the most awkward, and there's easier ones than him around, I would think.
David, thanks very much for another smashing night. Well done again.
Thanks, Jim.
And where light